attitude since they checked in, and I already defended myself against what's about to come up. You know what I mean? And I become blinded. I just got to check myself, take a step back, like, how would we serve everybody if we saw them as Christ? I don't always remember that. I'm going to be honest with you. And sometimes I think we all do. We get a little upset, but it's important to, after that, cool, calm, and collected. If you have a chance to go and speak with them, do that. But so some practical stuff here. How hospitality and service work together. Again, hospitality is the heart behind the action. It ensures that service is done with warmth, love, and respect. And then service is the action that makes the hospitality tangible, meeting the needs in a Christ-like way. For example, a volunteer at a Christian homeless shelter can serve food efficiently, but if they offer hospitality, they do it with a smile, they engage in conversation, and make the person feel seen and valued. Both hospitality and service reflect the love of Christ, and together they create a powerful, transformative ministry. Now, the power of a meal. It's the good stuff. The table is a place of healing. In a rescue mission, the table is more than just a place to eat. It becomes a place of healing, restoration, fellowship, reflecting the love of Christ. Here's how. It's a place of dignity and respect. Many of the folks that come to a mission have experienced rejection, shame, and hardship. By offering a seat at the table, we affirm their worth, remind them that they are created in God's image, and a warm meal that's served with kindness that can restore a sense of dignity. The table is a place of fellowship and belonging. We saw that in the scripture, Jesus often shared meals with outcasts, using the table as a place of connection. At our shelters, the table must provide a setting where guests and volunteers build relationships, breaking the isolation that homelessness often brings. The table is a place of nourishment for the body and the soul. The table does meet our physical needs through food and our spiritual needs through encouragement, prayer, and conversation. Just as Jesus fed 5,000, a meal at a Christian shelter can be a reflection of God's provision. The table is a place of peace and restoration. For those who have lived in survival mode, the table can be a safe space, a moment of stillness in the midst of chaos. A calm, welcoming meal can provide emotional and spiritual healing, allowing guests to experience God's peace. The table is also a place, and most importantly, I believe, a place of gospel witness. We saw in the scriptures, we read that Jesus used the meals to teach and transform lives. In our missions, volunteers can share scripture, testimonies, prayer, planting seeds of faith while simply sharing a meal. Breaking bread together often can open the door for the gospel to be lived out. And finally, the table is a place of second chances. Many of our guests have faced failures, addictions, broken relationships, and this table represents a fresh start, echoing the prodigal son's welcome meal. Just like I was sharing when I went home, and my family open arms, like nothing had ever happened. They're just like, let's just move forward. It's an amazing feeling. I know how that feels, so I know how that can feel for someone else. It's a wonderful reminder that God's grace is available to all. Some ways that we can create warm hospitality in our dining halls, through food service, at events. It's just simple things here. Eye contact and a smile. Many people experiencing homelessness feel invisible. By simply looking someone in the eye and smiling acknowledges their humanity. They're seen. By having clean and inviting dining areas, people will feel more respected when they're eating in a space that is clean and organized and dignified. Small touches like having people wiping down tables during the meals, setting up chairs properly, or putting centerpieces down for different holidays, or at the women's campus, we just because. We call them just because. No real reason. It's not a holiday. We just want to put some flowers on the table for you. Using words of encouragement. Simple good morning, I'm glad you're here, can lift someone's spirit. Instead of just handing out food, try saying, enjoy your meal, enjoy your meal, or God bless you. So now I want you to think of a time that you guys felt truly welcome somewhere, and tell me what made the difference. If you were uncomfortable somewhere, and someone came up to you and did something, or the environment around you was, does anything come to mind? It's okay.
First thing that popped into my head was going to Grandma's house. She always had that candy dish.
Oh, yeah.
Butterscotch candy.
Yeah.
I always look forward to that.
Very good. Yeah. Yep.
My grandma always made me brownies.
Grandma's, yep. Common theme there. Yeah. I think when I first walked through the doors of the mission, the first person to meet me was a counselor. He said, hi, my name is, I don't remember who it was, but he sat down, took the time to introduce himself to me, told me what he does, asked me, a little bit about myself, where I was coming from, instead of just, here's the pack of paperwork, here's the rules, here's your bedroll, that's where you're going to sleep tonight, dinner's at 6. Taking time to have that first point of contact when they come through, be a moment of compassion, right?
I made it a point when we're serving our meals, I call them sir, or
Yeah.
gentlemen, or
Yes.
ma'am.
Absolutely.
They just pipe right up.
They pipe right up, yeah.
I've done that, I think the last several years, I just noticed, they just get that.
It's a good feeling. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And so I also have some practical steps for hospitality and food service. Like you were just saying. Also addressing them or by their name. And now I understand there's just some large missions and it's hard to remember everybody's name. But doing the best that we can, learning and using their names when possible helps them feel known. If you don't know their name, just a how are you, buddy, pat on the shoulder, just a warm hug with the ladies for y'all, and it can make them feel seen. Offering them choices when feasible. It seems like a very simple thing, but just saying, would you like rice or potatoes? Instead of just giving them whatever's next in line, and waiting for them to say, I don't want that, saying, giving it just a little bit of a choice they have more freedom and more sense of control. Avoiding rushed or impersonal service. This can be daunting when you've got 100 people waiting in line, and you want to get done with whoever's on the serving line. They want to get through their shift. But when we rush people through a line, we can unintentionally make them feel like a burden instead of a valued guest, right? The attitude matters as much as the food. If food is served with resentment or exhaustion, people will notice. Encourage joy in service, not just obligation. I tell my guys and my gals, it sounds cliche, but the most important ingredient is love, right? In any meal. And it shows. It shows on your face, it shows in your actions, and I think it shows in the food. Teaching food service workers that they are the first point of contact for the ministry. This is true for a lot of places. I had said earlier, we're at fault at it sometimes. I'm sure other places are too, is when a client comes in, the check-in process is kind of like clinical, right? So when they finally get to that meal time, that's the first point where they're really having an interaction with the person. That's the first point of contact for ministry. These people can be the first smiling face that a guest sees that day. And that the way that they receive their food, the way that they're serving the client the food, can communicate love or indifference. Going the extra mile. Understanding their needs. So each person's got a unique story. Just simply listening to them helps us to understand how to reach them better. Everyone's in a different spot. Everyone's there for a different reason. It's easy sometimes to think that everybody's got a drug addiction when they come in. That's often not the case. As we see, a lot of people are coming in from they've had medical issues, they've lost their